Yogi 12 with Alpha request taxi for takeoff north departure. Taxiing hold short runway 23 left via taxiway Echo Delta Yogi 12. Mexico Tower Yogi 12 at runway 23 left ready for departure north departure. Line up and wait Yogi 12. Cleared for takeoff runway 23 left Yogi 12. Mexico Tower Yogi 12 continue for north departure. Mexico Tower Yogi 12 frequency change. Mexico approach Yogi 12 is type Airbus A20N 1 miles southwest of Mexico City 8,100 feet. Request flight following. Squawk 7116 Yogi 12. Roger Yogi 12.
Alright, autopilot.
One 121.4 for Yogi 12. Approach Yogi 12 12,000 feet. One 5.1 Yogi 12. Mexico Center Yogi 12 14,500 feet. Yogi 1-2 have the traffic. Yogi 1-2 traffic in sight. 126.6 Yogi 12. Mexico Center, Yogi 12 flight level tree 85.
seeing them jump out of the water, just hanging out the beach is just spectacular. I remember the first time I ever saw an adult whale breaching out of the ocean in the Pacific. I was living in Puerto Vallarta, and it brought me to tears. This was many years ago, but it just moved me so much. Just a few months ago, I was up in Baja, swimming with the whale sharks and baby sea lions in Isla Espiritu Santo. To this day, I just absolutely love that experience. It's something that whoever comes to visit me, it's the one must thing that we must do. And that's coming from someone who doesn't really like getting in the ocean, but it was just such a phenomenal encounter with them, so up close and personal in their habitat. What else? I think about the times that I used to go visit the monarch butterfly. Hey everyone, Jessica here coming to you from my backyard in Cabo San Lucas. I was thinking about travel and memories, and I thought I would just jump on here really quick and share with you some of my favorite Mexico moments. I know it's hard to pick just one. In every corner of the country there is something spectacular to be seen. But if I had to pick one that left me absolutely touched and moved, it would be the wildlife encounters here in Mexico. Just down the road here at the beach, in the winter you have the humpback whales that come, and seeing them jump out of the water, just hanging out the beach is just spectacular. I remember the first time I ever saw an adult whale breaching out of the ocean in the Pacific. I was living in Puerto Vallarta, and it brought me to tears. This was many years ago, but it just moved me so much. Just a few months ago, I was up in Baja, swimming with the whale sharks and baby sea lions in Isla Espiritu Santo. To this day, I just absolutely love that experience. It's something that whoever comes to visit me, it's the one must thing that we must do. And that's coming from someone who doesn't really like getting in the ocean, but it was just such a phenomenal encounter with them, so up close and personal in their habitat. What else? I think about the times that I used to go visit the monarch butterfly sanctuary when I used to live in Mexico City. I would go every year, and after a hike, we'd be surrounded by millions of beautiful little fluttering wings, something straight out of a fairy tale that never got old. The road trips to Veracruz for bird watching, the pink celestine flamingos. You have to mention Siancan Biosphere Reserve, and the sea turtles and the manatees, and the hundreds of species that are protected there, many of which endemic to that area in the Yucatan Peninsula. I could go on, but essentially what I want to say is I'm so thankful to Mexico. Honestly, these experiences have taught me deeper gratitude, connection with Mother Nature, and most importantly, empathy for all beings. These life-changing moments have turned into everyday considerations. So I built my little bird and butterfly oasis here in the middle of the Baja Desert that I've been able to enjoy during quarantine. And yeah, that's about it. So amigos, stay positive, connect with nature, and we'll hope to see you soon in Mexico. Thanks. Hey everyone, Jessica here coming to you from my backyard in Cabo San Lucas. I was thinking about travel and memories, and I thought I would just jump on here really quick and share with you some of my favorite Mexico moments. I know it's hard to pick just one. In every corner of the country there is something spectacular to be seen. But if I had to pick one that left me absolutely touched and moved, it would be the wildlife encounters here in Mexico. Just down the road here at the beach, in the winter you have the humpback whales that come, and seeing them jump out of the water, just hanging out the beach is just spectacular. I remember the first time I ever saw an adult whale breaching out of the ocean in the Pacific. I was living in Puerto Vallarta, and it brought me to tears. This was many years ago, but it just moved me so much. Just a few months ago, I was up in Baja, swimming with the whale sharks and baby sea lions in Isla Espiritu Santo. To this day, I just absolutely love that experience. It's something that whoever comes to visit me, it's the one must thing that we must do. And that's coming from someone who doesn't really like getting in the ocean, but it was just such a phenomenal encounter with them, so up close and personal in their habitat. What else? I think about the times that I used to go visit the monarch butterfly sanctuary when I used to live in Mexico City. I would go every year, and after a hike, we'd be surrounded by millions of beautiful little fluttering wings, something straight out of a fairy tale that never got old. The road trips to Veracruz for bird watching, the pink celestine flamingos. You have to mention Siancan Biosphere Reserve, and the sea turtles and the manatees, and the hundreds of species that are protected there, many of which endemic to that area in the Yucatan Peninsula. I mean, I could go on, but essentially what I want to say is I'm so thankful to Mexico. You know, honestly, these experiences have taught me deeper gratitude, connection with Mother Nature, and most importantly, empathy for all beings. These life-changing moments have turned into everyday considerations. So I built my little bird and butterfly oasis here in the middle of the Baja Desert that I've been able to enjoy during quarantine. And yeah, that's about it. So amigos, stay positive, connect with nature, and we'll hope to see you soon in Mexico. Hey everyone, Jessica here coming to you from my backyard in Cabo San Lucas. You know, I was thinking about travel and memories, and I thought I would just jump on here really quick and share with you some of my favorite Mexico moments. I know it's hard to pick just one. In every corner of the country there is something spectacular to be seen. But if I had to pick one that left me absolutely touched and moved, it would be the wildlife encounters here in Mexico. Just down the road here at the beach, in the winter you have the humpback whales that come, and seeing them jump out of the water, you know, just hanging out the beach is just spectacular. I remember the first time I ever saw an adult whale breaching out of the ocean in the Pacific. I was living in Puerto Vallarta, and it brought me to tears. This was many years ago, but it just moved me so much. Just a few months ago, I was up in Baja, swimming with the whale sharks and baby sea lions in Isla Espiritu Santo. To this day, I just absolutely love that experience. It's something that whoever comes to visit me, it's the one must thing that we must do. And that's coming from someone who doesn't really like getting in the ocean, but it was just such a phenomenal encounter with them, so up close and personal in their habitat. What else? I think about the times that I used to go visit the monarch butterfly sanctuary when I used to live in Mexico City. I would go every year, and after a hike, we'd be surrounded by millions of beautiful little fluttering wings, something straight out of a fairy tale that never got old. The road trips to Veracruz for bird watching, the pink celestine flamingos. You have to mention Siancan Biosphere Reserve, and the sea turtles and the manatees, and the hundreds of species that are protected there, many of which endemic to that area in the Yucatan Peninsula. I mean, I could go on, but essentially what I want to say is I'm so thankful to Mexico. You know, honestly, these experiences have taught me deeper gratitude, connection with Mother Nature, and most importantly, empathy for all beings. These life-changing moments have turned into everyday considerations. So I built my little bird and butterfly oasis here in the middle of the Baja Desert that I've been able to enjoy during quarantine. And yeah, that's about it. So amigos, stay positive, connect with nature, and we'll hope to see you soon in Mexico. Thanks.
Alright, that was Jessica. We are on our way back to Detroit, and hopefully it'll be another maybe 3.5 hours, so sit back and relax, folks. Talk to you later. Peace out.
going to 124.5, Yogi 12. Monterey Center, Yogi 12 flight level, tree 90.
All right. All right. All right. All right. We're going to end that video. Bam, gone. Alright folks, we'll be landing in Detroit probably in about another 3 hours, so stay tuned. Bye.
at the exact right time to cause your heart to go into an abnormally deadly heart rhythm.
That rhythm is called ventricular fibrillation, says Dr. Joshua Greenberg, a cardiac electrophysiologist at Henry Ford Health.
Most commonly, it's due to an injury where a ball, something like a lacrosse ball or a baseball, hits the chest at the right exact time.
In the Department of Biomedical Engineering at Wayne State University, the chairperson, Dr. Cynthia Burr, studies injury biomechanics.
It's predominantly in the youth population. We've seen it occur more often in children under 18. Based on the data that we've looked at. So it's not something that occurs very often once you get past that 18 to 20 years of age.
One focus of their research is chest protection.
We looked at a lot of different chest protectors, and sometimes they're protective and sometimes they're not. There's some protectors that have been called heart guards, and they didn't perform as well as some of the other chest protectors performed. I think that the chest protectors, there's not one that's going to necessarily prevent commotio cordis. We know that. We've looked at it. Like there's some that probably do better than others in terms of preventing that transmission of force. But the main thing that could help prevent a serious fatal outcome is having the AED close to the field.
If I could stress anything, it would be, having people get CPR trained in the community and having these life-saving defibrillators that can save people who have these, terrible events.
Now, while chest protectors are a good idea, at the end of the day, both experts really emphasized that awareness of the possibility of this when someone goes down after being hit in the chest and immediate access to an automated external defibrillator are really the most important when it comes to commotio cordis.
Yeah, still just so very, very scary. What about screening, though? Is there anything that parents can do?
Yeah. Well, that's an important point. And, the majority of cases of commotio cordis actually occur in young people that have normal hearts. However, there are some cardiac problems that can increase the risk. So it's important for young people to have good sport screenings by their doctor. And that might include an EKG or even an echocardiogram, which is an ultrasound of the heart if it is indicated.
Yeah. Wow.
It's definitely the talk of parents everywhere today.
Everybody
no doubt.
is talking about it. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Dr. McGeorge.
Longtime Lions fans may remember a similar and terrifying situation on the field back in 1997 when Reggie Brown suffered a serious spinal cord injury. Ahead at 5:30, you're going to hear from the team physician who was on the field that day.
All right, now to some breaking news happening at the U.S. Capitol in Washington. Multiple votes in the House to choose a new speaker, and Republicans can't seem to get enough of a consensus to pick a winner. So far, there have been 3 votes, with none reaching that magic number of 218. Alice Barr is in Washington for us tonight.
Good evening. With such a narrow majority in the House, even a small number of Republicans have the power to block this speaker vote or any other, giving a fraught preview of what could lie ahead for the 118th Congress. History and havoc in the House today as Republicans take control of the lower chamber, but fail to elect a new speaker in the first round of voting for the first time in 100 years.
A speaker has not been elected.
I'm not going anywhere.
Representative Kevin McCarthy of California falling short of the votes needed to secure the top leadership post, with a small band of far-right members standing in his way.
If you want to drain the swamp, you cannot put the biggest alligator in charge of the exercise.
McCarthy did give ground on a series of rules changes that would weaken his powers as Speaker, but today playing hardball, accusing his hardline opponents of acting selfishly.
I will always fight to put the American people first, not a few individuals that want something for themselves.
Family members here to watch lawmakers sworn in, instead witnessing a Republican rift.
Andy Biggs for Speaker of the House.
That's tossed the House into chaos. The chamber cannot address any other business until a speaker is elected. On the other side of the aisle,
We are united.
Democrats making their own history.
A Latino is nominating for leader of this chamber a black man for the first time in our history.
Unanimously electing New York Representative Hakeem Jeffries as House Minority Leader, the first black leader of either party in Congress. Landmark moments already for a new Congress in a new year, already stalled by the age-old problem of Washington gridlock, this time within the Republican Party. On the other side of the Capitol today, Republican Mitch McConnell becoming the longest-serving Senate party leader in history. Tomorrow, in a rare show of bipartisanship, he'll join President Biden in Kentucky to announce a major new project funded by the infrastructure law. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
Hey, Alice, thank you. Right now, 3 children and an adult are recovering after a house fire on Detroit's east side near the Hamtramck border.
And this happened this morning on Syracuse Street, not far from Mound Road in Caniff. Jacqueline Francis is live at Children's Hospital tonight where those kids were taken. Jacqueline, is there any update on how they're doing right now?
Karen and Kimberly, we're told those young children are expected to be okay. The family says that the kids ages 2, 3, and 9 years old were pulled from the burning house by someone passing by, potentially saving their lives. A mid-morning fire caught the attention of a car passing by.
You know how lucky they are. And when he coming this way, he see the lady, she called for help, and he stopped and he helped her from inside the bringing up kids.
The homeowner's cousin said the man worked for the family company and rushed inside when he drove by and heard the screams for help. It happened just before 10 this morning on Syracuse Street in Detroit. Despite making it out, the family was taken to the hospital.
Unfortunately, 3 children were transported to Children's Hospital with smoke inhalation. 1 adult was transported to receiving with smoke inhalation.
Fire officials are working to determine the cause. Any thought on what caused it?
They're not sure what happened, but they said they see a big hole in the floor, but they don't know where they come from.
The family grateful to their hero who jumped into action.
I hope they are okay, but I mean, they are lucky right now because the guy who was driving in here and he see the fire, he stopped. You know how this...
He ran in.
Yep. He got hurt in here too. I see him, you know, when he faced me time, I see the blood in his head, but you know, he's okay.
We're still waiting for an update on how the family is doing and when they may be released from the hospital. Reporting live outside Children's Hospital in Detroit, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
All right. Thank you, Jacqueline. Well, it is a job that seems to be getting more dangerous by the day.
New tonight, Dearborn police are speaking out after officers are targeted once again in a shooting.
And why gas prices are suddenly shooting up all across the state. Sean.
Next on Local 4, we first told you about a Detroit mother arrested at a house fire for not telling firefighters that her baby girl was still inside that burning home. Today, she was found guilty in court. Next live, I'll tell you about the shocking plea deal that she received.
Oh my God! The biggest party in Hollywood is back.
You smell amazing.
I don't have anybody to thank.
The face of post-racial America. Deal with it, Kate Blanchett.
Please rap. I waited 20 years for this. You gonna wait?
Gerard Carmichael hosts the Golden Globe Awards January 10th on NBC and watch the red carpet live from E!
With the Kroger Plus card, it's easy to get lower than low prices for the win. Earn fuel points on every purchase and save up to $1 a gallon at the pump. With Kroger Fuel Points, all you do is win big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Semi-sweet caramel macchiato with almond milk.
When you need a minute, there's Bet Rivers Casino app featuring tons of exciting slots like Divine Fortune, Cash Machine, and 88 Fortunes. We bring the excitement to you.
I won!
Bet Rivers and slots. It's a whole new game.
29 across. Better value, 9 letters.
Advantage. Like Medicare Advantage.
Oh, of course. Medicare Advantage saves me money on prescriptions and medical care. And that's really important right now.
Saves nearly $2,000.
And dental and eye care.
Even rides to the doctor.
9 down, 6
All right,
letters,
we interrupt this
29
broadcast for Miss Pat to have her drink.
Medicare Advantage.
And let me find the new button on the news. And here we go. Bam. Gone. All right, man, what would you like since the whole plane is waiting for you so that they can get back to your news? It's crazy. Crazy. Got to get a better microphone. The mic kind of sucks. Got the TV rolling here too. Alright, we're going to put the news back on because nobody wants to hear me chat. So here we go. Whoop whoop. Pat in the house.
Closed captioning for this program was brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm.
at 6. Thieves wanted $3,000 to return this man's stolen car.
I hear my car start up and I look out the window and I see it pulling off the driveway.
Coming up, see how he was able to get it back all by himself.
Today, a Detroit mother pleaded no contest to charges claiming she didn't tell firefighters her 18-month-old adopted daughter was actually inside her burning home.
Yeah, many people remember this story. It happened back in April of 2021 on Detroit's east side. Firefighters say they went into the house to find the woman's daughter.
Yeah, I don't really claim to be a pilot, you know what I'm saying? I just do these crazy streams that nobody really watches, which I'm fine with, because I just like playing around with this stuff. It's pretty cool. But Pat's here. Pat's in the house. No. In fact, when I get to Detroit, hang on, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. Yes. I'm minding my plane just fine, ma'am. Nuh-uh. Nope. We got about 45 minutes before we reach our meal. We'll be having a meal between 6 and 7, so we will be on autopilot. Hopefully I don't need to land by then. I don't think I will. But Pat will keep you guys all company. All two of us. Me and Pat. I don't know, what do you think? Some sort of chicken meal. Could probably start cooking it now. Yeah, it's your private jet. You're the only one here. Goulash. Not feeling that. Definitely not feeling the goulash. Not even so sure I can make that. All right. All right, we're gonna go to the weather right now, and I will return shortly.
Just mainly some flurries, but cooler weather ahead for Thursday through Saturday. Visibility right now down to 0.3 of a mile in Pontiac, less than a half a mile in Mount Clemens, 1 mile visibility at City, Metro, and in Grosse Ile, 3 mile visibility in Monroe. Temperatures are above freezing, but cool, only in the 40s. Where's that 50, 60-degree weather, well, it's just to our south. Warm front could not make it north today. We had a strong easterly flow, and it's just kind of hanging out right along the Ohio border. I don't know why it doesn't come over, but it doesn't want to. So you just go an hour to the south and you're in the 60s. So from 43 down to 63 in parts of Bowling Green, and then you go to Toledo and it's 61 degrees, in Columbus 61 in Indy, 70 degrees this hour in St. Louis. But back behind the system, there is some cooler air, and this is what is headed our way for Thursday. So there's that frontal boundary just part to our south. It should start to lift a little to the north overnight tonight, but it's kind of too late by then for it to really bring us much in the way of heat. And then the cold front swings through, and that's when temps go back closer to normal, which would be in the low to mid 30s. High temperatures over the next several days. Keep in mind our normal is 33. So even though we're cooling down, we're still technically a bit above normal Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We should make it up to about 51 degrees tomorrow as long as we get into that warm sector tomorrow. And then again, cooling back down into the 30s by the end of the week. So for tonight, a couple light rain showers up until about midnight, but fog, that's our main concern overnight tonight. It will be dense at times, perhaps as little as a quarter of a mile visibility in some areas. Forecast for tomorrow. If you live in places where you know you're prone to getting fog, you will get some tomorrow morning, and it could affect your morning commute. It will burn away, though, by the afternoon, leaving us mostly cloudy with a high of 51. Your future forecast, maybe just a light snow shower here and there for Thursday with highs in the upper 30s. Friday, mostly cloudy, 37. And then mainly south of Detroit, a couple more flurries or light snow showers for Saturday. Otherwise, most of the weekend is dry and cool. But the next chance we have for really beautiful sunshine Monday and Tuesday with highs back into the upper 30s.
Changes your mood, right? Like when that sun's out, even if it's cold?
Even if it's cold, I'd rather have 20s and sunshine. It's this gray weather day after
blah.
It really is, especially after the holidays. So
Look forward to
maybe
that.
go play the lottery tonight.
You know, I just might do that. Thanks, Kim.
All right, let's check in with Rod Maloney.
The NFL rocked by a life and death on-field medical issue.
Things changed in a heartbeat.
Something like we saw once at the Pontiac Silverdome with the Lions. We'll talk to the physician who saved a life in that incident.
All right, Rod, but first, the man charged with the murder of 4 college students in Idaho makes his first appearance in court. We'll have that next.
Stay comfortable all year long with our most sought-after special. Right now, when you buy a furnace, get an AC free. You heard right. Free is back, and it's just in time for the new year. Pay as little as $85 a month for this unbeatable deal. Are you short on cash from the holidays? Ask about our 0% financing for 12 months. Just like New Year's resolutions, this offer won't stick around. Highest value, lowest prices. Nobody beats Randazzo.
Go with the name you know. Randazzo, Randazzo.
When winter weather hits, download the Forewarn Weather app, because what you get depends on where you live. Get alerts, exact track 4D radar, and the Futurecast. Download the Forewarn Weather app. Always watching, always tracking.
I'm attorney Eric Steinberg. When you're hurt, my dad and I will be right there to make sure that you don't get cheated. Our client was hospitalized by a speeding driver. We made that insurance company pay her $500,000. 1-800-LEAVE-FREE. We'll be right there.
At Wallside, the new year brings out our best offer. Announcing no interest for 6 full years. Only Wallside can do it. 6 full years, no interest, no down payment. That's interest-free till 2029. Plus, every Wallside window style is half off. It's the perfect time to do your entire home. No interest for 6 full years. No down payment. For a limited time, schedule today at wallside.com.
Well, guys, no school.
Snow day! Yes!
Come on.
Otherwise known as a WeatherTech Day.
Let's go.
So when the weather turns bad, you can still find a way to enjoy it with WeatherTech's laser-measured cargo liners, seat protectors, and floor liners. And to secure your phone, don't forget the Cup Phone. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com. The ultimate protection for your vehicle.
Ooh, I love.
Totally. But keep swiping. This is so much fun.
This makes it so easy.
Yes, that was a good one.
Let's go!
your favorite slots today and go for the next big jackpot. Sign up now and we'll match your first deposit up to $1,000 plus 200 free spins. Only at GoldenNuggetCasino.com.
I'm attorney Eric Steinberg. When you're hurt, my dad and I will be right there to make sure that you don't get cheated. A semi-truck accident forever changed our client's life. We made that insurance company pay him $1.4 million. 1-800-LEAVE-FREE. We'll be right there.
Download the
to an average of $3.21 per gallon. It's still 25 cents less than last month. Experts say an increase in crude oil prices and a busy holiday travel season led to that increase.
A man in southwest Michigan is facing charges for killing 2 people when he fired a gun to celebrate the new year. Police say the 62-year-old man from Lawrence Township, which is in Van Buren County, fired 24 rounds from his AR-15. He did it during a fireworks display to ring in the new year. Police say a 35-year-old man and a 40-year-old man were shot and killed in that spray of bullets. The man is being held on 2 counts of reckless discharge of a firearm causing death.
New at 5:30.
A man falls victim to a scam that cost him hundreds of dollars. Coming up, we'll show you the one mistake that he made that unfortunately led to the worst.
Metro Detroit police officers shot at 2 times in one day. Live at 5:30, a renewed focus on officer safety.
This week, everyone wants a winter hideaway.
We do. Venture all over.
Anywhere would be nice.
But who will winter in Wyoming?
Wheel of Fortune, tonight at 7, only on Local 4.
I handle all kinds of personal injury cases. The hardest to accept are wrongful death. A life has been lost, and a family has been shattered. But even though a life is priceless, doesn't mean someone shouldn't pay. 855 Mike wins.
I'm miles beyond my knee injury. I am Henry.
I use science to help families grow. I am Henry.
I'm a new mom with brand new lungs. I am Henry.
I made sure that the cancer in my chest never got to my heart. I am Henry.
I'm Henry.
I am Henry.
When you found your inner believer and all-around conqueror, you found your Henry.
Sometimes a cough isn't just a cough, so it's better to be prepared. Keeping Binax Now handy makes it easy to test. And self-test kits may be reimbursable with no copay through your health plan. With Binax Now, you'll have reliable results in 15 minutes with the self-test that features the same technology doctors use and detects multiple variants, including Omicron BA.5. So you can always be prepared with Binax Now, the #1 COVID-19 self-test in the U.S.
Imagine your home beautifully reorganized. Custom closets, a home office, a pantry, laundry, or a garage. We do them all and more. Let us transform a crowded space into what may become your favorite room. We're Closets by Design, locally owned, and we have a personalized solution for every budget. Call for your free in-home design consultation and estimate.
Backed up sink or shower? Clogged toilet or drain? Call now for our $99 Drain Unclog service. We're in tune with your comfort.
Here's a quick tip to help you make ends meet.
We all do it, impulse grocery buys, right? But they can really add up at the checkout. So what can you do to save? Well, make a list, stick to it, or use curbside pickup to save even more.
Check out the Help Me Hank page and click on Detroit for more.
Wrongful death. The words don't capture the true meaning. Tragic death, shocking death, devastating death. It's wrongful because it could have been avoided. I'm Mike Morse, and I will get you justice.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5:30 starts now.
Officers under fire. Dearborn police are speaking out tonight about the dangers of their job after multiple instances of people shooting at them. Over the past month, we've seen firsthand how dangerous it can be to be a police officer.
It really is. It was just yesterday that shots were fired at an undercover officer in Dearborn. One of them came so close and actually blew a hole through the hood of his sweatshirt. Now the department is sounding the alarm over what's becoming a growing problem. Sean Lay live in Dearborn tonight with that part of the story. Sean.
You're spot on. Police on high alert. Here's why. Just a couple of weeks ago, a guy came into the police lobby here in Dearborn. Police say he tried to fire a gun at the officer behind the glass in there. That man was shot and killed just yesterday. Two different instances, one in Detroit that involved Dearborn and one in Warren that happened in Detroit of people shooting at police. Here's the very latest. This is a photo of where a gunshot hit the driver's seat of a Dearborn police officer's car. That officer coming within centimeters of being hit. His jacket was also grazed by another shot. It happened as he tailed a stolen car Monday morning, crossing over from Dearborn into Detroit. It comes just days after Dearborn police shot a man who walked into the department lobby and tried to open fire on police. Then, just yesterday afternoon, this. A Warren police officer opening fire on a carjacking suspect who opened fire on him. Commander Tim McHale is with Dearborn Police.
So just in the last several weeks alone, we've seen really brazen, violent acts against police officers, attempts to take their lives, really. And it seems to be the part of a troubling trend that we're seeing across the country.
What it means is an intense focus on officer safety, more training, more caution every time officers are on patrol.
We've seen an increase in the number of illegal weapons being carried by suspects. We've seen repeat offenders out on bond oftentimes with just nothing to lose.
That's a big point there made by Dearborn Police. Getting back to the undercover officer fired upon yesterday, 3 people, Karen, now in custody for that. Back to you.
All right, so Sean, I'm trying to place everything in this story. Was the Dearborn officer actually right behind that stolen vehicle when this all happened?
That is an interesting twist to this. Here in Dearborn, stolen cars, people are on such high alert for that. There was an Apple AirTag put in that car by the owner, and that let police trail that car. But once he got to the Detroit location, that's when he was fired upon. The Apple AirTag in the car, very interesting.
You know, a lot of people are doing that. It's beyond the luggage issue. They're doing it in the cars. Interesting. All right, thanks, John. Well, sad news. Soccer icon Pele is laid to rest today in Brazil.
Pele's coffin was carried from the stadium where he started playing as a teenager following a 24-hour wake. Fans lined the streets as his body was brought to the cemetery where he was buried privately. Pele died Thursday at the age of 82 after battling colon cancer. He will always be remembered as one of the greats of the game, being the only male player to be on 3 World Cup winning teams.
Inspired so many. Construction starts today. Get ready, everybody. It's a busy road in Oakland County. Crews are closing 10 miles from Meadowbrook to Haggerty over in Novi. They will be replacing 2 culverts under the road. They'll also be adding some safety features, some new sidewalks, new crosswalks. The project is being funded by federal money. The closure is expected to continue through the fall.
A man just trying to pay his bill at Comcast ends up being taken for $300. Tonight, he's sharing one of the big mistakes he made and hopes to keep you from becoming a victim. Victor Williams is live on this story for us tonight. And Victor, this is a mistake that's pretty easy to make. Explain.
Yes, that is correct, Pamela, and it's just one mistake. That's all it took for this man's problems to snowball into a bigger situation.
you have to be really careful of the stuff that you pull up on the internet, because it looks good until you get involved and find out something totally different.
Tonight, James Clark is pleading with you not to make the same mistake he did, being scammed out of $343, the past due amount he thought he was paying Xfinity after business hours.
And they took the money out of my account. But they never resolved the issue.
It all started when he tried to get in contact with Xfinity by Googling the company one night. What he found instead was an ad at the top of the page pretending to be the company with the misspelled name.
The people were advertising under the same name. So they assured me that it was after business hour line to where they could restore my services.
Once James entered his debit card information, that's when he knew something was wrong.
It was like, call back in 30 minutes, and then call back in an hour. Then they were like, it's an error on my part. Then it was an error on their part.
After weeks of trying to dispute the charges for a company identified as Bill P Services, Bill Pay without an A, it looks like his debit card company isn't going to be able to do anything.
They were like, they couldn't find any substantial reason to get the money back. So I was just basically out of the money.
He's now curious to find out how many others have fallen victim to a simple mistake.
I'm just wondering, were they able to get other people's money, because they're not even answering the phone now.
And James still had to pay that $343 to Xfinity in order to get his services restored. So this is just a horrible situation for this man. Victor Williams, Local 4.
And Victor, talk to us about avoiding this. Are there any simple tips that you have to pass along?
Yeah, it's very simple. All you have to do is just make sure you're always double checking and trying to see the legitimacy of these sites or these numbers that you're calling, especially if you're on Google. You want to make sure you check the spelling, because that is a big hint that something could be wrong if the spelling is off.
All right, Victor, thank you for that information and that heads up as well. We appreciate it. As Bills player Damar Hamlin remains in a Cincinnati hospital in critical condition, we're getting to hear from a former Lions team doctor who was working during a similar scare 25 years ago.
Yeah, this was back in 1997. Lions linebacker Reggie Brown suffered a spinal cord injury during a game at the Pontiac Silverdome. Dr. Terry Locke immediately began performing CPR. Rod Maloney is talking with the doctor about that day and Hamlin's situation. Good evening, Rod.
Yeah, good evening, Karen. And it was an adrenaline rush, a flashback for Dr. Locke, watching the doctors working on the Bills player last night, because he had been there watching a great game and pressed into service to save a life. Bobby Ross and Bill Parcells were the coaches for a raucous game, the Lions against the New York Jets, that Sunday in the Pontiac Silverdome.
Things changed in a heartbeat.
Dr. Terry Locke, just 2 years into his 20-year stint as Lions sideline physician, got the call when linebacker Reggie Brown went down after a spinal cord injury, and he stopped breathing.
When I got out on the field, his lips were purple.
While you can't see him because of so many players and trainers around Brown, Dr. Locke jumped into action with the only tool at his disposal: direct mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, something he'd never done before or since on a human.
I remember feeling the very huge feeling of relief when that first breath went in and his chest expanded.
And he did so for what seemed an eternity, roughly 2 minutes before the ambulance got on the field. Dr. Locke rode with Brown to the hospital while the EMTs continued the CPR.
He did not return to breathing on his own until we were almost to the hospital.
Brown eventually went to Henry Ford Hospital downtown and never played again, but he lived largely a normal life thereafter.
I'm an orthopedic surgeon, so we're not usually saving people's lives directly.
So it was a big deal?
It was a huge deal, sure.
Perhaps the biggest moment in his career as a team physician. Now, he also told us that Reggie Brown's injury brought a lot of changes to the NFL because now they have a much wider array of medical support on the sidelines and also up in the press box to make sure that something does not get missed, which certainly had to have made a big difference in last night's response by the medical team. Back to you.
Speaking about last night, Rod, I'm interested in getting the opinion from Dr. Locke in terms of what happened. Obviously, he wasn't there, but it's always interesting to hear a doctor's perspective.
Well, you know, he said, you know, there were similarities, but it was different in the fact that Reggie Brown wasn't breathing because he had the spinal cord injury. Last night's was a heart attack. At least they believe that to be the case, so they would have shocked him rather than giving CPR the way he did. But he has said he feels for the staff that was on the field. He feels for the player and certainly hopes that he does better. Looking at the way things are right now, he's deeply concerned about his ability to recover.
I know, it's so concerning. All right, thank you, Rod. We appreciate it.
And Hobie joins us now for a look at what's going on with the Lions now.
Yeah, the Lions playing a big game this week, but all the attention on what happened last night. That game, of course, will not be resumed this week, but the Lions do have a big Week 18 game coming up. It's the final week of the regular season, and the Lions' playoff fate, it's still not been finalized. Getting a win and getting in is no guarantee for the Lions. They also need a Seattle loss, but Dan Campbell says that games like this one are what you play for all season.
And this is one of those games you look forward to being a part of. As a player, as a coach, the fans are going to love this. I just think it's great. And you know, I don't know if you could write it any better.
Well, 3 NFL teams have head coach openings right now, and apparently 2 of those teams have reached out to Jim Harbaugh. According to multiple reports out of Charlotte today, Panthers owner David Tepper recently spoke to the Michigan head coach about the team's upcoming opening in the offseason. This comes after a report Sunday night from Pro Football Focus that the Denver Broncos also reached out to Harbaugh. Last February, after exploring the NFL, Michigan signed Harbaugh to a deal that would keep him in Ann Arbor through 2026. And the Red Wings make a stunning move on the roster today, placing forward Jacob Vrana on waivers. A talented offensive player, Vrana came to the Wings via trade in 2021, scoring 21 goals in 38 games with Detroit. He played in the first 2 games of the year and then entered the NHL's player assistance program, but he did return to the team in mid-December, where he's been playing in the AHL. Other NHL teams, by the way, have until Wednesday afternoon to claim Vrana. If not, he will remain within the Red Wings organization. And the Pistons, they just cannot catch a break on the injury front last night in Portland. You can see it right there. Marvin Bagley III got tangled up on this play and appeared to injure his hand. According to ESPN, Bagley now expected to miss, quote, extended time as he recovers with that right hand injury. This season, Bagley is averaging 10.7 points and almost 6 rebounds a game. Big night in college basketball as well. Michigan State returning to the hardwood to continue Big Ten play. They're facing Nebraska. We'll have highlights coming up at 11.
Sounds good. Thank you, Hobie.
And ahead in weather tonight.
Well, I have the forecast for the game on Sunday. I'll give you a hint.
Is it chilly?
It's going to be cold. You don't need to be a meteorologist to figure out it's cold in Wisconsin in January, but I'll tell you exactly how cold coming up.
All right, plus how a bald eagle ended up stranded on a sheet of ice and couldn't just fly away. Hey.
Hey, Karen, we're live here tonight in Allen Park. Are you looking to do some shopping during the month of January? I'm going to show you what items are deeply discounted right now and where you can save big. We're live right after the break.
The Sports Desk is brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Right now, returning AZ Plan lessees can lease a 2023 Ford F-150 for only $319 per month for 24 months. Only at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Think Ford first.
The Southeast Michigan Ford dealers invite you to come home for the holidays. Place an order for a 2023 F-150 lease and receive $1,000 retail order bonus cash right now. Returning AZ Plan lessees can order a 2023 F-150 and lease it for only $319 $319 a month for 24 months. Plus, you can lock in this deal right now. And if at the time of delivery the deal gets better, you get the better deal. So come home for the holidays at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers and take advantage of this lease price and the $1,000 retail order bonus cash.
Next Jeopardy! To challenge a 13-game super champ, you need a strategy.
$5.
Just $5. Jeopardy! Tonight at 7:30, only on Local 4.
I was pinned between two cars after a drunk driver hit another car. My leg was completely crushed and needed surgery. The Sam Bernstein law firm fought for me every step of the way and got me a $1 million verdict. That's the Bernstein advantage.
Buy 4 tires and get up to $200 in savings after rebate at Bell Tire's year-end sale. Or get even more. December 26th through January 7th. Plus, get tires as low as $49 after rebate. Buy 4 tires and get up to $200 in savings. December 26th through January 7th. Up to $200 in savings at Bell Tire's year-end sale. Choose the lowest tire price, period, at Bell Tire. Buy online, save time in store.
Hey, Vanessa. So this is what party at, huh?
I'm just in the slots for a minute.
Oh, I got me a little blackjack heater going myself. That's my guy Steve right there. Would be nice to get a king, Steve.
Come on, give Fox that king,
Come on,
Steve.
Steve, give me the king. Give me the king, Steve.
Got
the blackjack! Woo!
He got the king.
I got it.
He got the king.
At Hungry Howie's, we have a flavor philosophy. It's that you deserve to mix and match the most delicious flavor you've ever had with even more of the most delicious flavor you've ever had. But how can you mix and match the most delicious flavor twice at the same time? Well, we're not in the business of logic. We're in the business of blowing your flavor-loving mind with flavor upon flavor. Philosophize on that. Get any 2 mix and match items, including the new no-dough bowl for $6.99 each.
Hungry?
Howie's!
I was with my wife and newborn baby when we were hit by a garbage truck. Luckily, my wife and daughter weren't hurt, but I had life-changing injuries. I called the Sam Bernstein law firm. The result? $1,085,000. If you're injured, call 1-800-CALL-SAM.
New at 6.
The sports world, heck, just about everybody's still in shock about what they saw on Monday Night Football. Coming up, how are coaches and parents thinking today when it comes to their kids and their players? We'll find out.
The holiday shopping season may be over, but retailers, they are offering some major discounts to lure people back in.
And there definitely are some things that you need to stay away from. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester live for us in Allen Park with some deals that we definitely don't want to miss this January. Hank.
Yeah, Karen, I mean, there's great deals in the month of January, some items that you should definitely try to buy if you can afford it. Also, there are a few key things that you may want to purchase, but you want to do it a little bit later in the year. Take a look. Looking to save right now? Well, here's what you should buy in the month of January. Linens and bedding. Big sales at Macy's and Bed Bath & Beyond. Televisions deeply discounted at Best Buy, Amazon, and Target. The sales before the Super Bowl. Home fitness gear, Dunham's and Wayfair offering sales on treadmills, fitness trackers, and also fitness clothing. And winter clothing on sale at JCPenney and Target, up to 75% off coats, hats, gloves, and much more. Here's what you should avoid buying this month. Large appliances. Lowe's and Home Depot, they slashed prices right before Thanksgiving. Now they're back to normal. Snow tools and gear. Snow blowers, they won't be reduced until March or April. Luggage prices not expected to drop until this fall. And jewelry. Most deals were available before Christmas and will be again, but not until after Valentine's Day. Back out here live in Allen Park. Listen, I know you're probably not thinking Christmas lights and trees right now, but I'll tell you, we just did a quick look inside the Target store here. Items for the holidays between 75 and 85% off. And don't just think you have to make your way into the store. For savvy online shoppers, there are deals of the day being offered on Target.com, and those are going to continue throughout the entire month of January. We're live here tonight in Allen Park. Hank Winchester, help me, Hank. Local 4.
I always say I'm going to buy those deals, and I never do. Did you find anything, Hank?
I did. You saw last week. I mean, maybe you didn't see it, but on my Instagram, I posted that I bought not the most attractive reindeer wreath, but you know what? It was 75% off.
A reindeer wreath. I'm going to have to check that out.
Big old reindeer. in a wreath. You'll see it one day, Drew.
It sounds tacky. All right. Thank you, Hank. A reindeer wreath.
Some of the best things are tacky,
But you know
though,
what?
right?
Sometimes he has interesting decor.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think,
You'll
what
see
are
it
you
at his
thinking?
next garage sale.
Exactly. He's a good garage sale guy,
know he
too.
is.
Good things. All right. Well, no garage sale weather.
No. We've got a lot of fog, though, and it is going to be an issue for the morning commute. In fact, most of our sky cams are just filled with fog. There is fog out at the airport, although I haven't heard of any delays or anything. It looks like it's not quite dense enough yet, but could be tomorrow morning. 43 in Detroit, 42 in Howell, 41 in Port Huron, 43 in Monroe. Now, the good news is that we do expect temperatures to stay above freezing. And what you see down here, that's visibility right now. So 1 mile visibility in Detroit, but 4 miles down in Monroe, and it's just kind of patchy fog here and there. But where there's fog, it is pretty dense. We also have some very light rain showers across much of Metro Detroit that will continue and up until about midnight, 1 o'clock tonight. So 5 o'clock, we've got mostly cloudy skies with just a few scattered rain showers, and then by tomorrow morning, that moves off to the east, and we're left with mostly cloudy skies. Could see a break or two of the sunshine. That's not out of the question for the day tomorrow, but temperatures are going to stay in the low 50s. Now, if that warm front comes a little further, maybe we could get a little warmer than that, but we're going to cap it off at about 51 degrees. But as long as we get drier conditions, that's what we're looking for. Very close to the 60s. If you drive just 45 minutes to an hour to the south, you go from 43 down to the low 60s. So that frontal boundary is just now across the Ohio border. Just can't seem to push far enough north to bring us that warm air that we were hoping for today. Now, if you are headed to Green Bay, Lambeau Field, it is going to be cold. We expect this. It's January. They've had blizzards there this time of year, but it's going to be dry, just very cold. By the second half of the game, temperatures will drop down into the teens. Speaking of dropping temperatures, tomorrow 51, that's the end of it. And then we go back down close to normal, but still just a touch above. So I'll step out of the way here. So 33 degrees is our average high for this time of year. We'll be at 38 Thursday, 37 Friday. Low to mid 30s on Saturday, and then Monday and Tuesday, temperatures will be in the upper 30s, but it does look like Monday and Tuesday of next week, we are going to get a nice dose of some much needed sunshine.
Oh, thank you, Kim. We appreciate it.
Right?
Always use the sun.
Yeah. All right, the fallout from the Southwest airline meltdown.
What a mess. New here at 5:30, why one passenger says the airline broke federal laws.
But first, a bald eagle stuck on the ice. Why rescuers had to wait for an expert you wouldn't expect to get this tricky job done.
When winter weather hits, what you get depends on where you live. So download the Forewarn Weather app. Get important weather alerts, our exclusive Exact Track 4D radar, and the Futurecast, so you know what's coming hour by hour down to your street. Download the Forewarn Weather app. Always watching, always tracking.
Expect more when you watch Local 4 News.
Expect more laughs when you watch The Tonight Show.
With the Kroger Plus card, it's easy to get lower than low prices for the win. Earn fuel points on every purchase and save up to $1 a gallon at the pump. With Kroger Fuel Points, all you do is win big, big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
911, what's your emergency?
A semi hit me. The pain is so bad.
Pain from an accident can be relentless, but so is our trucking team.
Lee never stopped until he got me $800,000.
1-800-LEE-FREE.
We'll be right there.
With house calls, we meet patients wherever they live. Hi! How are you? Jack's blood pressure was dangerously high. So I contacted his doctor and sent him to the ER.
My Widowmaker was 97% stocked up.
But you're good now.
I'm real good now.
United Healthcare House Calls provide free, comprehensive exams from a nurse practitioner with follow-up to address any health issues.
At Wallside, the new year brings out our best offer. Announcing no interest for 6 full years. Only Wallside can do it. 6 full years, no interest, no down payment. That's interest-free till 2029. Plus, every Wallside window style is half off. It's the perfect time to do your entire home. No interest for 6 full years. No down payment. For a limited time, schedule today at wallside.com.
Hun, let's clean and regrout our bathroom tiles.
Grout? Really?
Take a break from boring with the Bet Rivers Casino app. Featuring live dealer games like Lightning Roulette and Blackjack, we bring the excitement to you. Plus, with our award-winning customer service.
Nice dress.
We always look good.
Honey?
You'll bring him back, right?
Definitely.
Take your time.
Take a break with Bet Rivers and live dealer Lightning Roulette. It's a whole new game.
Sometimes you want a bigger mattress. Exclusively at Gardner White, pay for a queen and sleep on a king. Save with up to $1,700 off our huge selection of top name brands. And get a free king upgrade. In stock with free same-day delivery. Choose your comfort, choose your size. Right now, king or queen, just $9.99. Serve a perfect sleeper, beauty rest, or ceiling. Plus, get a free TV, MasterCard, or box spring. Save more at Gardner White.
It's the worst call a mom can get. Your daughter's being rushed to the hospital after an accident.
Hi, this is Lee. Lee, our daughter's in the ICU. I'll meet you right now.
Lee was at the hospital within the hour, and he made the insurance company pay $700,000.
I'll be right there.
With the Kroger app, no matter where you order free pickup, you get the same great deals as you get in our stores. So start your cart today. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
We have quite the rescue to tell you about. An expert kayaker uses his skills to make an incredible save.
I've never seen anything like this.
No.
So take a look. This is a bald eagle, and it seems sick and stranded on a piece of ice near Chicago. The bird was in need of care, but rescuers were really afraid just to get too close to it because it could attack them. So that is when a kayaker used a technique to push the ice that the bird was on to shore. Rescuers believe the eagle may have gotten sick from maybe ingesting poison from its prey. It is being nursed back to health tonight at an animal sanctuary. Good job for that kayaker. Well, fallout from the Southwest Airlines meltdown, far from over.
A passenger says the airline broke the law and he's now suing them over it. The passenger says instead of providing prompt refunds for canceled flights, Southwest offered credit towards a future flight. A federal judge in Louisiana has been asked to certify the lawsuit as a class action to include other passengers. No comment yet from Southwest. Meanwhile, the U.S. Transportation Department is investigating the airline's operational meltdown that forced thousands of flights to be canceled during some of the busiest travel days of the year. SpaceX is getting off to a fast start in 2023.
3, 2, 1.
A Falcon 9 rocket lifted off from Florida's Cape Canaveral Space Force Station just before 10 this morning. The rocket is carrying 114 satellites to orbit. About 2.5 minutes after launch, the Falcon's 2 stages separated and the first stage returned to Earth. It was also SpaceX's 200th flight and the company's 161st successful rocket landing. Local 4 News at 6 coming your way next. Coming up, it is a New Year resolution that's really worth keeping.
And our Dr. Frank McGeorge will tell you what it is and why it's beneficial to your health. Plus, here's Hank.
Looking to fly soon? Get ready for sticker shock. It is one of the stories I'm tracking new tonight in my Help Me Hank Consumer Headlines. We're live from Allen Park.
You'll be surprised what these car thieves wanted for this high-value car after stealing it from one man's driveway, but see how he got it back. Coming right up.
Dad's been fighting and winning for others for decades.
And is now honored to be included in the Michigan Lawyers Hall of Fame.
Continuing on the family legacy of caring.
It's what we all do every day.
Welcome to DraftKings Casino, the home of blackjack. Get in on the thrill of the hit, the split, the double down. Enjoy the largest library of blackjack games in the industry at your fingertips. Spanish 21, live dealer, vacation blackjack, retro blackjack, and much more. Download the DraftKings Casino app, use the promo code, and get a 100% deposit match up to $2,000 in casino bonus funds. Action's so good, why play blackjack anywhere else?
Business can happen anytime, anywhere, so help yours thrive and stay connected with the Comcast Business Complete Connectivity Solution. It's the largest, fastest, reliable network, advanced gig speed Wi-Fi, and cyber threat protection, starting at just $40 a month. Plus, you can save up to 60% a year when you add Comcast Business Mobile. Or ask how to get up to a $750 prepaid card. Complete connectivity, one solution for wherever business takes you. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
When people contact us, they always ask, is this call really free? And the answer has always been, it's free. A free consultation, and we don't get paid unless we win your case. That's our no-fee guarantee. 1-800-CALL-SAM.
When you wake up, it's go time. You want to get up, get out, and get going with only the information that you need. We get it. So expect more out of your mornings with Local 4 News.
Your forewarned weather forecast to help you plan your day. More time-saver traffic reports to get you where you need to go. And more local news all morning long with their stories that matter to you.
We know you don't have time to waste, so expect more from your morning news.
Weekday mornings on Local 4 and streaming on Local 4 Plus.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Thieves target a Metro Detroit man and then taunt him on social media. New tonight, how he was able to track down his vehicle and then get it back. But first, we begin with weather, as the forewarned weather team is tracking some fog for us tonight.
Forewarned meteorologist Kim Adams tracking the latest conditions. She joins us now with an update. Hi, Kim.
Hi, well, we do have some reports of visibility reduced down to a half a mile or less, and it's going to get worse as we go through the overnight hours. But the temperatures are above freezing, so we don't have to worry about ice on the roads. 44 in Detroit, 40 in Pontiac, 41 in Mount Clemens. We hit our high for the day just after midnight last night and spent most of the days in the 40s. The 60s just down to our south. If you go just about an hour down I-75, you run into 63-degree weather. It is in the 70s right now in parts of central Indiana, but that warm front is staying right along the border. Our issue tonight will be fog, dense at times, about 0.3 of a mile visibility in Pontiac and in Mount Clemens. City Airport was at a mile visibility just about 30 minutes ago. Now it's down to half a mile. So the fog is continuing to become more and more dense, and that will be the story as we go throughout the morning hours. Tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. you can see less than a half a mile visibility in many locations across Metro Detroit. Now, once the sun does come up, it will start to burn away just a bit, with highs in the afternoon in the low 50s. If you want to keep up to date on all the weather situations in your neighborhood, all you have to do is go to your favorite app store, type in WDIV, and download the free Forewarned Weather app.
All right, Kim, thanks. Our other top story tonight, imagine getting your car stolen and then getting taunted about it.
Yeah, bizarre story here. A local man says it happened to him when his Dodge Charger Scat Pack was stolen. He then began receiving videos online of the thieves joyriding in his car. Victor Williams joins us live. Victor, you've learned he took action into his own hands to get his car back.
Yeah, that is correct. And this is a pretty odd story with some pretty bold actions coming from thieves, but it didn't really play out exactly how they wanted it to.
I'm just grateful to get it back like that, because some of the guys that were trying to help me find it, their cars were took too, and they said I got my car back completely stripped.
Brandon is lucky to be driving tonight in his Scat Pack. Less than 24 hours ago, it was in the hands of thieves.
I hear my car start up, and I look out the window, and I see it pulling off the driveway.
Because of that reason, he doesn't want to show his face or use his last name. The culprits were able to find Brandon's social media info, where they sent him several videos of his car being taken on a dangerous joyride.
The people text me saying, I got your car, I need $3,000 for it back.
Brandon thought the worst. That's until he received word that his car was spotted on Detroit's west side.
Somebody sent me a tip where they thought they saw the car, and I thought I seen the car too, and I had called the police and let them know, and the police were like, well, we can't go back there and get your car. There's nothing we can do about it.
From there, he decided to take matters into his own hands, picking up his car from Dexter and Joy Road with just a couple of friends at 4 a.m. But he's puzzled as to what the plan was.
It's not adding up to me, you know what I mean? It's not, you want $3,000 for a car that has a $10,000 motor in it, you know what I mean? You know, I know whoever took it didn't really know, because anybody that knows these cars, they're very high-value cars.
Thankfully, it was all in one piece, with only a busted-out rear passenger window.
Are you worried at all about these kids coming back?
Yes and no. You know, they do know where I live, but at the same time, I'm not really worried about it. You know what I mean? I have the means to, to defend my home if it ever comes down to that type of situation. You know what I mean?
And Brandon says he's just happy to have his car back, but he's going to be keeping his head on a swivel from now on. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Yeah, just a really bizarre story. Glad everything turned out okay. Victor, we appreciate it. All right, Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin remains in critical condition after he collapsed during last night's game against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest and collapsed moments after getting up from a tackle on Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. Medical teams performed CPR and then gave the 24-year-old oxygen on the field for nearly 10 minutes. Right now, Hamlin remains sedated in critical condition at the UC Medical Center in Cincinnati with plans to remain there overnight. Meantime, family and friends and teammates united in their support of his recovery.
He has a strong family. I mean, he has the ideal support system. I mean, they're optimistic. Damar is someone that you would trust and believe to come out on top of anything that he is faced with.
This afternoon in Buffalo, fans gathered outside Highmark Stadium for a prayer vigil. The NFL postponed last night's game. Officials say there's been no discussion about this weekend's games and that counselors are available for every team in the NFL.
And meantime, that type of injury is what doctors say is commotio cordis, and it happens when someone suffers a really hard blow to the chest, and it's exactly at the right time, precise instant in the electrical cycle, and it actually stops the heart.
Yeah, it's really very rare, but it has been seen at times in other sports where a player gets hit with a hockey puck or baseball. Jason Colthorpe spoke to parents and coaches to get their thoughts today.
When this sort of thing happens, you have to wonder, does it change the mentality of a parent or the athlete themselves to want to get back on the field? But if you remember back in 1998, a similar thing happened to Chris Pronger, a hockey player for the Blues, took a puck right in the chest, and it did the same thing to his heart. He was able to recover, and it's that sort of thing that makes you realize it's a freak situation, and coaches and parents are keeping that in mind.
My first thought was that I'm taking my son to college on Saturday.
Kerry Drogosh's son Brady is going to the University of Cincinnati to play quarterback. She, a former athletics director, and her husband, a coach, have often factored in the dangers of the game for their sons, but also note the safety measures in place.
Really, short of being at the hospital, that was probably the second best place for a medical emergency to take place because of the people who are qualified that are right there.
I think it's kind of a fluke, and I really don't think parents have to worry about their youth player succumbing to a cardiac event out on the field.
Tom McLean coaches the St. Regis Raiders, kids grades 3 through 8. He and others don't think what happened to Damon Hamlin will prompt parents to shield their kids from any ball field simply because of the life lessons.
From a physical fitness standpoint, team building, confidence building, there's really no sport quite like it. So I kind of ascribe to the Harbaugh brothers and what they say about playing the game, and the advantages far outweigh the risk.
I'm not sure it will really discourage people because I think it was such a freak moment, and the amount of injury that you see, like I think something like Tua's injury would be more indicative of someone not wanting their child to play because it's the multiple blows over time.
I did reach out to some youth football parents, and they were in unison in the fact that they feel this isn't the sort of thing that's going to keep their kid off the football field. They're more worried about when they get older and the competitors get bigger and the risk for those injuries are a little bit more. We're downtown at Cass Tech. Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
Very real concerns, though, Jason. We appreciate that. And sudden cardiac arrest is actually the leading cause of death in young athletes, but those cardiac arrests are most often caused by an undiagnosed pre-existing heart condition, not a blow to the chest. Experts say both causes highlight the importance of having people trained in CPR and an AED at the ready. Coverage on Hamlin's condition continues next on NBC Nightly News. They'll be taking a deeper look at safety in the NFL. That's immediately following this broadcast at 6:30.
Breaking news from the nation's capital. The House has just adjourned after Congressman Kevin McCarthy failed to lock down the votes needed to become House Speaker. McCarthy received support from an overwhelming majority of Republicans, but fell short of the threshold to be elected Speaker during 3 separate votes. The opposition to McCarthy has been fueled by far-right Republicans who put their support behind Ohio Representative Jim Jordan in this last round of voting. The House is expected to be back in session tomorrow at noon.
All right, help me, Hank, alert for anybody booking a flight out of Metro Airport anytime soon. Prices are jumping. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester live in Allen Park with the reason and your other big consumer headlines tonight. Hi, Hank.
Hey, Kimberly, good evening to you. A lot of important information tonight. When we're talking about the airlines, I just noticed this as I was trying to book a flight today. Prices have jumped up dramatically on the big popular carriers like Delta, Spirit, United. The reason? Well, we can all blame Southwest. Take a look. Get ready because airline prices are taking off. Delta, United, and American have all increased their prices in the last week in cities where Southwest operates. Detroit Metro, one of the affected areas. Prices up almost 25% now to many destinations across the country. A recall alert you should be aware of: the 2015 to 2016 Volkswagen Beetles are being recalled. 40,000 vehicles altogether. There's an airbag issue. It's a simple fix, but you need to contact your dealer. And finally, a scam alert involving the Unemployment Insurance Agency in Michigan. Fake emails being sent to those collecting unemployment right now. They're saying that they need to verify your personal information, but all they're trying to do is steal your personal information and create a new identity. You should contact UIA if you have any concerns. It seems like every month we're hearing about a new UIA scam. Remember all the scams affecting Metro Detroiters, the deals, the recalls, the information you need to know, the consumer headlines. They're right on the Help Me Hank page at clickondetroit.com. We're live here tonight in Allen Park. Hank Winchester, Help Me Hank. Back to you.
Hank, thanks.
COVID cases. They are down slightly over the last week here in Michigan. The state is reporting 9,793 new cases in the past 7 days. That's an average of about 1,400 per day. We did lose another 69 lives to the virus. Still more to come on Local 4 News at 6.
Here's Dr. Frank McGeorge.
Well, it's a New Year's resolution. It doesn't even make the top 10, but it could dramatically improve your health and slow down how quickly you age. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. Coming up, I will show you a resolution that's worth keeping and why it's more important than many people realize.
Next Jeopardy! To challenge a 13-game super champ, you need a strategy. $5. Just $5. Jeopardy! Tonight at 7:30, only on Local 4.
You wanted to end this for months, and now he's doing it for you. The feeling of winning. Find it in spades on FanDuel Casino.
What's your emergency?
My car just got flipped. I'm pinned inside and in a lot of pain.
We can't stop the physical pain, but we sure can stop the financial pain.
Lee and Eric saved our family with a $1.1 million settlement.
1-800-LEAVE-FREE. We'll be right there.
Keep your vehicle protected this winter with WeatherTech. Laser-measured floor liners protect the carpet. Seat protectors to keep seats safe from spills and messes. And Cup Phone keeps your phone secure while allowing easy access while charging. WeatherTech's got your vehicle covered all season long. Order your American-made products at WeatherTech.com.
When faced with the unknown, we know time is of the essence. And when fighting an illness like cancer, we at Cleveland Clinic work to quickly diagnose even the most rare cases.
From the point of diagnosis to the beginning of my treatment, they addressed it so quickly, I don't know that I would have gotten that anywhere else.
For every diagnosis, for every possible chance, for every care in the world, Cleveland Clinic. If you've been diagnosed with cancer, call 833-541-CARE.
A reckless driver talking on the phone struck my child while he was crossing the street.
Hi, this is Lee.
Lee, my son's in the ICU. Can you please come right away?
Lee met us at the ER, took on our case, and got our family $600,000.
I'll be right there.
With FanDuel Casino's Play It Again offer, you can play all of your favorite casino games. And if you're down after your first day, you'll get up to $1,000 back to play it again. Download FanDuel Casino today.
Hey, want in on a cool club? Become a WDIV insider. You'll get a voice in Local 4's news coverage, fun giveaways, access to exclusive content, and more. And membership is free. Just go to clickondetroit.com/insider. We think you'll like it.
Stay comfortable all year long with our most sought-after special. Right now, when you buy a furnace, get an AC free. You heard right. Free is back, and it's just in time for the new year. Pay as little as $85 a month for this unbeatable deal. Are you short on cash from the holidays? Ask about our 0% financing for 12 months. Just like New Year's resolutions, this offer won't stick around. Highest value, lowest prices. Nobody beats Randazzo.
Go with the name you know. Randazzo, Randazzo.
Download the Forewarn Weather app. Always watching, always tracking. Powered by DTE.
If you're still looking for a New Year's resolution, you might want to consider making one to drink more water.
Because we haven't made enough resolutions.
That's right.
Let's add one more. New study highlighting just how important it really is, not just for your current health, but this is pretty cool. It actually affects your health down the road. So we're bringing in Dr. Frank McGeorge to kind of explain what the researchers have found.
Well, you know, Kim and Karen, when it comes to New Year's resolutions, drinking more water, it doesn't even make the top 10, but it should, because about half of adults worldwide don't drink enough water, impacting their daily and long-term health as well.
Water is truly the liquid of life. More than half of our body is made of water. Getting enough each day is essential for multiple functions, including maintaining body temperature, having proper digestion, eliminating waste, and even thinking clearly. But new research suggests the benefits go far beyond the day-to-day. Scientists say proper hydration may also slow down aging and lower the risk of chronic diseases. The National Institutes of Health looked at serum sodium data from 11,000 people over 30 years. That number increases when we drink less fluids. According to the study, those at the high end of the range had a 10 to 15% higher chance of being biologically older than their chronological age compared to those on the lower end of the spectrum. They also had a 64% higher risk of developing chronic diseases like heart failure, stroke, diabetes, and dementia. The study also found low serum sodium levels increased the risk of early death and faster aging. Researchers didn't have information on how much water participants drank, but the National Academy of Medicine recommends drinking 9 cups of water a day for women and 12.5 cups of water a day for men.
Now, if you're trying to increase your water intake, experts recommend making a part of a routine to drink a glass at certain points in your day. You can also try adding fruit to flavor your water, tracking how much you drink with an app or a notepad, and eating more foods with high water content like fruits, cucumbers, celery, and of course lettuce.
Good tips. Now, is it possible to overdo it and drink too much water? You know, I see people with these big jugs walking around, you know,
Right.
It seems like it's too much. But
Well,
no.
it is actually technically possible to drink too much water, and that's called water intoxication, and that is dangerous. Now, this is not really the case where you could say more is better. You kind of want to hit it within the guidelines and then basically increase it if you're extra active or maybe it's super hot outside. And if you have any health problems, I would emphasize you should talk to your doctor about the right amount of water for you, because certainly if you have high blood pressure and you're on diuretics or something like that, that's a different equation.
Yeah. Okay. Dr. George, thank you.
Sure.
Well, a man is in custody tonight for stealing a Rolex watch from a store in Southfield. Tiante Allen is facing retail fraud charges. He's accused of stealing that watch from Art Dial Watch over on Greenfield near 9 Mile. That happened last month. Well, the watch is valued at nearly 20 grand. Police found it at a pawn shop in Detroit. Another suspect has been identified in the theft.
Now, Forewarn Weather with Exact Track 4D.
We got lots to talk about.
Me too. We've got the fog, we've got sun making an appearance, and we've got the big football game on Sunday.
Yeah,
and
not enough sun. I mean, this time of year is tough for people that do suffer from seasonal affective disorder and things like that. And it's going to be tough for a few days. You got to get out that light and find your vitamin D
find
somewhere. But even a break or two would be a welcome change. But it has definitely been a gray, rainy, foggy day, and that continues tonight. 43 degrees at Metro, 42 in Ann Arbor, upper 30s in Lapeer, and 40 43 right now in Monroe. Weather story, well, a few showers continue this evening. They're light, but that will be the story for the next couple of hours at least. Another foggy night here in Metro Detroit, which means another foggy morning commute tomorrow morning with dense fog expected, and then a chance for a few flurries as colder air arrives for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Right now, visibility 0.3 of a mile in Pontiac, 0.3 of a mile as well in Mount Clemens and City Airport, 1 mile visibility at Metro, but the fog right now is patchy, so in some spots it may be 0.75 of a mile, and then as you're driving it becomes less than 1/4 of a mile. So that's the concern overnight tonight and tomorrow morning with the fog. 41 in Mount Clemens, 40 in Pontiac, 44 at City Airport, 43 Metro. So we'll stay above freezing tonight, so we don't have to worry about ice. Now, the warm weather that we had hoped to get in here today, as we looked at the models last week, stayed to our south. Unfortunately, the warm front just could not make it across the border. It just sat there and still sitting there right now. So it's 43 in Detroit, but you go just a little bit further to the south and it's 20 degrees warmer as you go through Bowling Green, down to Columbus, over to parts of Indianapolis, 65 in St. Louis, and all that warmth trying to make its way here to Metro Detroit. Now, overnight tonight, that warm frontal boundary should lift a little bit further to the north. So if you live south of Detroit, you have a better chance of getting into the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees tomorrow, but it's short-lived because then the cold front comes through and cools us back down into the 30s for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then some snow showers on the backside of this. We'll get some lake effect snow Thursday, but it won't total up to anything. Temperatures will be close enough to above freezing to where we're not going to worry about any accumulation, but there could be some flurries for Thursday and again on Saturday. So tomorrow's high, 51 degrees, 38 for Thursday, 37 Friday. Keep in mind the normal high this time of year is 33. So even though we're cooling down, technically we are still a little bit above normal for this time of year. All right, tonight, if you're traveling, if you work nights, overnights, you're going to run into some fog, and it could be dense in some areas. 42 will be the overnight low. There will be some light rain showers throughout the evening and overnight hours as well. Then tomorrow, morning fog for the morning commute. We won't have the heavy rain that we had this morning. There could still be a light shower, but the heavy rain will be over and the fog will be left behind. Mostly cloudy skies in the afternoon, but we could make it into the low 50s, especially south of Detroit. Thursday's high 37 with a chance of those flurries, and then Friday mostly cloudy, 37 degrees, mainly south for Saturday with a couple flurries, and then Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, even though temperatures are only in the 30s and lows in the 20s, at least we get some much needed sunshine.
I think my sunglasses are like, you know, in that compartment and
way down there.
The gum is stuck on it. You know what I mean? Like when you throw your gum, and I think they're a hot mess.
Yes.
I have to clean them before next week.
I would think that's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Thanks, Kim.
Hobie's next with Dan Campbell on what needs to happen for the Lions to make the playoffs. And Jim Harbaugh talks with another NFL team. Stay with us.
When winter weather hits, what you get depends on where you live. So download the Forewarn Weather app. Get important weather alerts, our exclusive ExactTrack 4D radar, and the Futurecast, so you know what's coming hour by hour down to your street. Download the Forewarn Weather app. Always watching, always tracking. Download the Forewarn Weather app. Always watching, always tracking. Powered by DTE.
Who's responsible if you get in an accident in a rideshare car with an unsafe driver? The rideshare company. If their driver caused the accident and you're injured, we'll make them pay. 855 Mike wins.
Staying on budget starts with having control over your money. Meet the NetSpend prepaid Visa card. There's no minimum balance, no late fees, and no interest fees, because this is not a credit card. NetSpend has earned a great rating on Trustpilot. Terry loves getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Teddy loves the way it tracks his spending. This is control. This is NetSpend. Pick up your card today at participating Kroger stores.
At Hungry Howie's, we have a flavor philosophy. It's that you deserve to mix and match the most delicious flavor you've ever had with even more of the most delicious flavor you've ever had. But how can you mix and match the most delicious flavor twice at the same time? Well, we're not in the business of logic. We're in the business of blowing your flavor-loving mind with flavor upon flavor. Philosophize on that. Get any 2 mix and match items, including the new no-dough bowl for $6.99 each.
Hungry?
At California Closets, every project is personalized, custom designed, and installed by true craftsmen. That's the California Closets difference. We call it practical magic. Get started with a free design consultation. At California Closets, every project is personalized, custom designed, and installed by true craftsmen. That's the California Closets difference. We call it practical magic. Get started with a free design consultation.
Going to One Tree, 5.9er.
Good move. What? With that Medicare Advantage. Here we go. I'm just saying, I'm on a fixed income. And Medicare Advantage saves us money. On co-pays, prescriptions, dental. I mean, with food and gas prices, it's important to have great health care we can actually afford. Especially right now.
Oh, if only you knew as much about Checkers as you do health care. Kiwi.
Medicare Advantage, the right move for more than 1.1 million Michigan seniors.
This week, everyone wants a winter hideaway.
We do. Venture all over.
Anywhere would be nice.
But who will winter in Wyoming?
Wheel of Fortune, tonight at 7, only on Local 4. The Sports Desk is brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Right now, returning AZ Plan lessees can lease a 2023 Ford F-150 for only $319 per month for 24 months. Only at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Think Ford first.
Everybody's talking about what happened in Cincinnati, that we kind of forgot that the Lions have a big game coming up this
Yes,
weekend.
they do. Going to Green Bay, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Well, the Lions and Rams have been attached all season, that due to draft picks. But now the two teams, well, they go hand in hand with playoff implications now at stake. If the Lions win on Sunday and LA can beat Seattle, the Lions will be back in the postseason for the first time since 2016. Now, to call the Lions' second half of the season impressive, that would be an understatement, going 7-2, a turnaround that started with their last game against the Packers. Now, a win in Green Bay this weekend does not guarantee a spot in the playoffs. In fact, the Lions could be eliminated by kickoff. But for Dan Campbell, he wants his team to be ready with whatever is on the line Sunday night.
Look, I can't worry about that. We can't worry about it. You know, for us, it's got to be a win-win either way. You know, either we're playing to get in or we're playing to be spoiler, and that's it. So either way, we win.
Well, at this point in time, the NFL has 3 head coach openings, and 2 teams have apparently already reached out to Jim Harbaugh. According to multiple reports in Charlotte, the Carolina Panthers reached out to the Michigan head coach to have a conversation about their upcoming opening, as did the Denver Broncos. That, according to Pro Football Focus. Now, last month, Harbaugh did say he, quote, will be back enthusiastically coaching the Wolverines in 2023. Well, the injury news continues to add up for the Pistons. Marvin Bagley injured his right hand in Portland in the second quarter of last night's game. And according to ESPN, he's going to be missing, quote, some extended time. The Pistons started hot against the Blazers. They got burned in the second half. Portland winning Monday's game by 29, the Pistons' worst loss on the road this year. Former Piston Jeremy Grant, well, he went off, scoring 36 against his old team. The Pistons stay on the West Coast. They're at Golden State tomorrow night. We did see a historic performance in the NBA last night. Donovan Mitchell pouring in 71 points to help the Cavs beat the Bulls in overtime. Yes, Mitchell is only the 7th player to score 70 points or more in a game in league history. And those 71 are the most a player has scored in a game since Kobe Bryant did it back in 2006 when he had 81. And a big upset in Big Ten basketball for the 2nd straight year. Rutgers beat #1 Purdue. Cam Spencer of the Scarlet Knights hit a 3 with about 13 seconds to go as Rutgers hangs on to pull off that stunner. There's now only one undefeated team left in Division I basketball, and that is New Mexico. The Lobos, still undefeated. And of course, Michigan State, they are back on the hardwood tonight, playing Nebraska as they jump back into Big Ten play. Michigan, they have their return to conference action coming up later this week.
Okay. Highlights at 11. Thank you, Hobie. NBC Nightly News is up next.
Live look at New York, where they are getting ready to bring you stories including how a DNA ancestry site helped police track down the suspect in the Idaho student murders. Plus, parents, listen up. kids accidentally ingesting cannabis edibles is up an astounding 1,300%. The plea tonight to marijuana manufacturers about packaging.
Our next news is at 10 p.m. streaming live on Local 4 Plus and click on Detroit.com. Hope to see you back here for Local 4 News at 11.
Where more people get their local news than any other source. Local 4. Expect more.
Just announced $750 holiday bonus cash now at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Need a vehicle right now? Choose from a great in-stock selection of vehicles like the 2022 Ford Explorer. Returning AZ Plan lessees can lease a Ford Explorer for only $329 a month for 24 months. Hundreds of vehicles are arriving daily, just in time for the holidays. So visit your Southeast Michigan Ford dealer and get $750 holiday bonus cash on the 2022 Ford Explorer. Think Ford first.
My son and I were on our way to meet my husband. That's when another driver ran a stop sign and hit us. I was worried about the bills, so I called 1-800-CALL-SAM. They were amazing. Their attention to detail and hard work resulted in $2.6 million.
With FanDuel Casino's Play It Again offer, new customers can win even if they don't win during their first day. That means you can play slots, blackjack, live dealer roulette, and so much more. And if you're down after your first day, you can get up to $1,000 back to play it again. Because at FanDuel Casino, we know nothing beats winning. It's just one of the reasons that FanDuel Casino is America's #1 rated online casino app. Download FanDuel Casino today.
My role as a house calls nurse practitioner is to meet people in their homes for annual wellness visits. We meet patients wherever they live. I'm able to put out fires before they ever start. I get to spend an hour with them. I'm there to treat and monitor the whole patient, their medical needs, their social needs, and of course, behavioral health needs. Making a difference for patients is what motivates me every day.
I'm miles beyond my knee injury. I am Henry.
I use science to help families grow. I am Henry.
I'm a new mom with brand new lungs. I am Henry.
I made sure that the cancer in my chest never got to my heart. I am Henry.
I'm Henry.
I am Henry.
When you found your inner believer and all-around conqueror, you found your Henry.
Recreational drug use among young people is at an all-time high, and studies show adolescent drug use can lead to substance use disorder as adults. But there is help. The Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network has prevention, treatment, and recovery programs that reach thousands of young people each year. And we offer assistance for loved ones, friends, and families. Call us anytime, 24/7, at 800-241-4949. D-WIN. We listen, we care.
On the road, your car doesn't stand a chance against a truck like this. And in court, you could get run over again. That's where we come in. We've been fighting and winning for truck accident victims for decades. That's the Bernstein Big Truck Advantage. 1-800-CALL-SAM.
Tonight, the NFL star in critical condition after a terrifying collapse on the field. Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin hospitalized after suffering a cardiac arrest following a tackle. The new message from Hamlin's family asking fans to keep him in their prayers. And after the game was postponed, what the NFL said today about rescheduling it. Also tonight, chaos in the House for the first time in 100 years. The election for Speaker going to multiple rounds after a group of hard-right Republicans denied Kevin McCarthy the votes he needed on the first ballot. So what happens now? The suspect in the Idaho college student murders appearing in court for the first time in Pennsylvania, waiving extradition. His family in the courtroom and the new body cam. The suspect's brush with police as he and his father drove across country 2 weeks before his arrest. Severe weather on the move. Reports of more tornadoes in the south. In the Midwest, heavy snowfall creating danger on the roads. We're tracking it. The former crypto mogul pleading not guilty to fraud charges when he is set to stand trial. And reports of children eating marijuana edibles soaring more than 1,000%. The warning tonight for parents.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening, everyone. In a sport known for its danger and high risk, there is hardly anything that can compare to the horror and crushing sadness of the moment that played out on the field of Cincinnati's Paycor Stadium last night. With millions of viewers watching, Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin collapsing on the field at the end of a play after suffering cardiac arrest. Medical teams rushed to perform CPR as players from both teams looked on, some praying, many appearing to be overcome by what they were witnessing. Tonight, the 24-year-old Hamlin is in a Cincinnati hospital listed in critical condition. Through a spokesperson, his family saying, "We are deeply moved by the prayers, kind words, and donations from fans around the country." Tonight, the NFL, which ultimately suspended last night's game, says it will not be played this week. Maggie Vespa begins our coverage.
Bring healing and restoration to Damar's body right now.
Tonight, prayers are pouring in for 24-year-old Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin.
This was just like a gut punch.
He's in critical condition in a Cincinnati hospital.
What a matchup, a lot in play tonight.
Following a terrifying injury that unfolded live on Monday Night Football. After tackling a Bengals wide receiver in the first quarter, Hamlin stood up and took a few steps before collapsing to the ground.
And now another Bills player is down.
Doctors from both teams and medics rushed the field, performing CPR for more than 10 minutes.
This is the last thing you want to see.
Players formed a wall around Hamlin as he was treated, many overcome with shock and emotion. Then the Bills knelt to the ground to pray as the ambulance drove off the field. Hamlin's mom came down from the stands to ride with him.
The game has been
temporarily suspended.
Both teams retreated to their locker rooms, and after a tense hour of uncertainty, the game was postponed indefinitely. Tonight, League Commissioner Roger Goodell saying the highly anticipated matchup will not resume this week. The Bills say Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest when an electrical malfunction in the heart causes it to stop beating, different from a heart attack, which is when blood flow to the heart is blocked.
The fastest someone can administer CPR to someone that suffered cardiac arrest, the better their chances are of surviving.
It's unclear if the cardiac arrest was caused by the hit, but the team says Hamlin's heartbeat was restored on the field before he was transferred to the hospital. Tonight, his family releasing a statement. "Your generosity and compassion mean the world to us. Please keep Damar in your prayers." Hamlin is in his second season with the Buffalo Bills, a 6th-round draft pick. The Pennsylvania native grew up playing football. He chose to stay close to family for college, playing for the University of Pittsburgh.
I saw it on my TV, everyone standing there praying, and you get flashbacks about the kid, you know, the person you knew is in danger.
In the last 24 hours, heartbroken fans flooding a holiday toy drive Hamlin started in 2020 for kids in need. The original goal, $2,500. Now donations around $5 million.
Trying to do my job a little bit better.
Tonight, a powerful clip of Hamlin resurfacing online, describing the emotions he felt after a teammate and close friend was injured.
I just grabbed his hand a little bit harder just because, you know, you never know when, like, the last day could be that you getting to experience something like this, you know, so I'm cherishing it every moment I can.
Maggie joining us now from the medical center where Hamlin is being treated. Maggie, as you noted there has been a huge outpouring of support for him.
Yeah, Lester, support and visitors. We've seen reports that the head coach for the Cincinnati Bengals was here, and wide receiver Stephon Diggs. Diggs, one of several Bills players who the NFL says did not travel home to Buffalo overnight. They wanted to stay here, close to their teammate. Lester?
All right, Maggie Vespa, thank you. And after Hamlin's injury, the focus quickly shifted to the NFL itself, about how it handled the crisis and about the dangers of the game. Here's Tom Costello.
Damar Hamlin's life and death emergency comes in a season of intense scrutiny of the NFL's priorities and practices. What some call a delay in calling off last night's game and allegations the league has a history of failing to prioritize player safety. September 25th, Miami quarterback Tua Tagovailoa suffered an apparent head injury, yet was cleared by a team doctor to keep playing. Slammed to the ground 4 days later in another game, he was taken off the field unconscious. The NFL said its concussion protocols had not been followed and quickly tightened them. On Christmas Day, Tagovailoa suffered yet another concussion. The risk, permanent neurological damage.
I'm very concerned about the NFL's protocols.
Like Damar Hamlin, Myron Rolle played safety in the NFL. Today, he's a neurosurgeon in Boston who says the challenge for the NFL-required neurologists on the sidelines is to overrule both players and management who often want to keep playing.
But I do think that if the NFL called that game a lot sooner, it would have sent a message loud and clear that we take our players' health and safety seriously. This game is irrelevant now.
Retired defensive back Ryan Clark tweeted, "It's a game. You never suit up and think you're not going to make it home."
Unfortunately, we've just become accustomed to seeing a stretcher come out at times, an ambulance come out at times.
Former Buffalo Bills center Eric Wood, now a Bills radio analyst, retired after suffering a potentially catastrophic neck injury. Player safety, he says, is a far higher priority now.
I would almost say that we hit a point of maximum violence prior to really cracking down on these head injuries, and now I feel like the game is being played at a much safer level.
The NFL says it has been in constant contact with both teams and the Players Association since last night's game. The league has already paid out $1 billion to former players suffering the effects of head injuries, memory loss, depression, headaches, anxiety, dementia. America's favorite game is also very violent. Lester.
All right, Tom Costello, thank you. Let's get to that epic battle now, starting off the new Congress where top Republican Kevin McCarthy is still struggling to get enough votes to become Speaker. A chaotic kickoff for the GOP as they take back control of the House. Garrett Hake now with late details for us.
How you feeling about the vote?
It's not the kind of history Republicans were hoping to make. Tonight, for the first time in 100 years, failing to elect a Speaker of the House.
A Speaker has not been elected.
On ballot?
A Speaker has not been elected.
After ballot.
A Speaker has not been elected.
The chaos, the result of a bitter battle between Republicans, a small but stubborn faction of right-wing members voting against party leader Kevin McCarthy.
People ask me, what do you want? I want the tools or I want the leadership to stop the swamp from running over the average American every single day.
McCarthy projecting confidence this morning.
I'm not going anywhere. I will always fight to put the American people first, not a few individuals that want something for themselves.
But also predicting a drawn-out process.
McCarthy, is there any scenario in which you drop out of this race?
No.
McCarthy had already made major concessions to the rebel Republicans who were pushing him for prime committee seats, commitments to vote on specific legislation, and rules changes, including some that would make it easier to oust a speaker later. With the House constitutionally bound to elect a speaker before taking up any other business, rank-and-file Republicans, the vast majority of whom backed McCarthy, growing frustrated by the small group of holdouts.
If I didn't know any better, it's like the Democrats paid these people off. Let's pay them off. Let's make it look like the Republicans can't govern and don't deserve any gavels whatsoever. That's what it makes it look like.
For much of the day, top Democrat Hakeem Jeffries actually had more votes for Speaker than McCarthy. But Republicans hold the narrow House majority and the only real path to electing a Speaker, if they can agree on who.
So, Garrett, it appears they're heading now for a fourth round of voting tomorrow. But are the Republicans getting any closer to consensus?
No, Lester, they're actually farther away. McCarthy losing 20 Republican votes on the last ballot tonight. We can only afford to lose 4. Also tonight, former President Trump declining to stand by his endorsement of McCarthy, telling me in a brief interview, we'll see what happens. Lester?
All right, Garrett, thank you. In Pennsylvania today, the suspect in the killing of those 4 Idaho college students agreed to be extradited. Stephanie Gosk with more on his day in court.
Brian, what are you doing? Handcuffed and in a prison jumpsuit, Brian Kohberger was escorted into a packed Pennsylvania courtroom today. In a brief hearing telling the judge he will not fight extradition to Idaho. The 28-year-old says he is not responsible for the murder of 4 University of Idaho students last November, according to his public defender.
He believes he's going to be exonerated. That's what he believes. Those were his words. So he's really been very easy to talk to, actually. And he's in a calm demeanor.
Kohberger grew up in eastern Pennsylvania, graduating last year from DeSales University with a master's in criminal justice. Today, heavy security, state and local police surrounded the small county courthouse. 2 law enforcement sources tell NBC News forensic genealogy, the DNA of extended family members, played a role in his arrest. Koberger was studying to get his doctorate in criminology from Washington State, just 15 minutes from the crime scene. He drove cross-country with his father in December in the white Hyundai Elantra authorities had been looking for. Body cam footage obtained by NBC News shows Indiana state troopers pulling the father and son over on the highway. Koberger's attorney says they were stopped twice on that trip for speeding and tailgating.
I believe it to be a random coincidence.
Koberger's parents say they are cooperating with authorities, while the father of Kaylee Gonsalves says he is eager to come face-to-face with his daughter's alleged killer.
I want him to be sick of seeing us and sick of knowing that these people won't let it go.
When Koberger is extradited to Idaho, he will be formally charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. He's expected to plead not guilty. Lester?
All right, Stephanie Goss tonight, thank you. Millions are still at risk of severe weather this evening from the same system that brought everything from heavy snow and ice to flooding and even reports of tornadoes. The South getting blasted as the West braces for more. Here's Miguel Almaguer.
Even for parts of Minnesota and South Dakota, these were epic whiteout conditions. Spinouts and stalls jammed roadways as upwards of 2 feet of powder were expected to fall in pockets of the region. With 10 million battling snow and ice, the Midwest was hammered by blizzards, while twisters carved across the South. Small communities in Alabama and Arkansas taking the brunt of the damage for now, as suspected tornadoes touch down. But 20 million are still at risk for severe thunderstorms and the chance of more tornadoes. That same storm system swamped swaths of Kentucky with fierce flash flooding. Greenville's fire department overwhelmed as roads went underwater. First responders scrambling to pluck students from a waterlogged school bus.
Once we got here, the fire department called in their swift water rescue team. They were able to get to the bus to get the kids and get them back over to the dry side where they can get on to school.
The scene eerily reminiscent of the historic flooding that washed over San Francisco and Sacramento earlier this week. Now, after California was pummeled by an atmospheric river, 2 more are expected to hammer the state even harder.
Today, there was only a brief break in the rain, which gave communities like this one just enough time to prepare for mudslides, which seem inevitable. Lester?
Miguel Almaguer in California, thank you. And with so much more severe weather on the way, let's bring in Dylan Dreyer. You got a lot going on that map tonight.
Yeah, we have tornado watches in effect, Lester, until 9 o'clock this evening for parts of Georgia into Alabama, too. And you can see where these storms are falling. We have lots of red showing up on the map here, indicating that we have torrential downpours, lots of cloud-to-ground lightning, and also still the continued threat of strong tornadoes. Also wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour. And now that it's dark outside, it's a dangerous time of night to have these storms move through because you just simply cannot see them. Tomorrow, we do still have a chance of stronger storms down into Georgia, the panhandle of Florida, but it looks like we're not going to see as widespread of a chance of tornadoes, but we do still have the chance of wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. The ground is totally saturated, so when you're looking at about 3 to 4 inches of additional rainfall, that could lead to more flooding concerns in that part of the country, too.
All right, you and our climate team will be on it. Thanks, Dylan. In 60 seconds, the crypto mogul in court, how the feds will try to get billions of dollars back for investors.
Consumer Cellular has the best customer service.
They care about the customer.
The best price with the best quality.
The prices, the coverage.
Consumer Cellular provides the exact same premium coverage as the nation's leading carriers. And while prices rise, ours are dropping. Get unlimited talk and text with a flexible data plan starting at $20 a month.
It's like 4 scoops of ice cream for the price of 1.
Switch today and save up to half on your wireless. Add extra lines anytime for just $15 each. Call or go online.
Dude, you coming? Alka-Seltzer Plus Power Max Gels with more concentrated power. Because the only thing dripping should be your style. Plop Plop Fizz Fizz with Alka-Seltzer Plus. Also tried for fast sinus and pain relief.
I can't take my eyes off my eyes.
My go-to is Lumify eye drops.
Lumify dramatically reduces redness.
In 1 minute.
And look at the difference.
My eyes look brighter and whiter.
For up to 8 hours.
It was love at first sight.
With Lumify. See for yourself.
The former crypto mogul accused in what prosecutors call one of the biggest fraud schemes in history, entering his plea today in a New York federal court. CNBC's Kate Rooney has been following the story and joins us now with more. Kate, good evening.
Lester, Sam Bankman-Fried arrived to federal court today in Manhattan, where he pleaded not guilty to 8 counts, including fraud. Prosecutors allege the founder and former CEO of the collapsed cryptocurrency exchange FTX cheated investors out of billions of dollars, money that's still missing. But today, the Justice Department announced a new task force dedicated to finding those funds and getting money back to victims. Legally, Bankman-Fried could be facing an uphill battle. 2 of his top associates have already pleaded guilty to their own charges and are now cooperating with authorities. Bankman-Fried's trial is expected to start in October, and if he's found guilty, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. Lester.
All right, Kate Rooney, thank you. Up next, Against All Odds, a dramatic story of survival and rescue. Plus, the new warning about cannabis edibles and kids.
Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
She is fearless. Hearts on the line. Depend silhouette, keeping leaks off her mind. Comfortable in shapewear fabric, she moves with ease. Confident on nights like these. Depend silhouette. The only thing stronger than us is you.
This is the planning effect. Nina's got a lot of ideas for the future. A lot of ideas. So when she wants a plan based on what matters most, she turns to Fidelity. At Fidelity, anyone can create a free plan. A plan that can change as your priorities do. And Nina's free plan, it leaves her free to focus on what's important right now. That's the planning effect from Fidelity.
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein. Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients for immune health.
Type 2 diabetes?
Discover the Ozempic Trizone. In my Ozempic Trizone, I lowered my A1C, CV risk, and lost some weight.
In studies, the majority of people reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it. Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events, such as stroke, heart attack, or death, in adults also with known heart disease. And you may lose weight. Adults lost up to 14 pounds. Ozempic isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take Ozempic if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2 or if allergic to it. Stop Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Gallbladder problems may occur. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Ozempic with the sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
Ask your healthcare provider about the Ozempic Trizone.
You may pay as little as $25.
Call me. I'll be right there.
I'm attorney Eric Steinberg. If you've been injured anywhere here in Michigan, my dad Lee and I will be right there for you. From the first hospital visit all the way to putting that settlement check in your pocket.
Meter's broken. You win parking. They can take this all the way to the top, but no one can take a win away from you. Not even the Department of Parking. President. And he's kind of a big deal. Because what's winning but the universe telling you you're kind of special? The feeling of winning. It's hard to beat. Find it in spades on FanDuel Casino.
Call me. I'll be right there.
I'm attorney Eric Steinberg. My dad and I know that Michigan highway accidents like these can cause family tragedies. We're ready to listen, we're ready to help, we're ready to maximize your recovery.
A remarkable rescue in Northern California. A Tesla plunging about 250 feet off a cliff and landing on the rocks below. 2 adults and 2 children were in the car. All were found alive, lifted into helicopters, and taken to a hospital. Officials said both children were in car seats that saved their lives. All suffered non-life-threatening injuries. A warning tonight about children and marijuana. A new study finds a number of kids exposed to cannabis after eating edibles soared more than 1,000% in recent years. Emily Ikeda with what parents need to know.
From gummies to chocolates, many cannabis edibles look a lot like regular snacks. But these THC-infused products are catching more than adults' attention. A report out today from medical journal Pediatrics reveals the rate of children under 6 eating cannabis edibles is skyrocketing, rising more than 1,300% in recent years. Nearly all of the exposures reported happened in the child's own home, and more than a fifth resulted in hospitalization.
For a long part of it, we didn't know if he would be okay.
Elizabeth Perry's son Oliver had to be medevaced after getting into her cannabis-infused gummies recommended by her doctor as a sleep
120.65 Yogi 12. Indianapolis Center, Yogi 12 flight level, tree 90. 127.55, Yogi 12. Chicago Center, Yogi 12 flight level, tree 90. 128.075, Yogi 12. Indianapolis Center, Yogi 12 flight level, tree 90. 128.625, Yogi 12. Cleveland Center, Yogi 12 flight level, tree 90.
We started our descent.
119.905 Yogi 12. Cleveland Center, Yogi 12, flight level 195. Metro Tower, Yogi 12, is 10 miles southwest 13,100 feet with Quebec to land. Make left downwind runway 27 right, Yogi 12. Cleared to land runway 27 right, Yogi 12. .25 for Yogi 12. Detroit Metro Ground, Yogi 12, request taxi to the gate. Taxiing to gate, Charlie 108 via taxiway Yankee, Kilo Quebec, Yogi 12. Detroit Metro Ground, Yogi 1-2, could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft? Detroit Metro Ground, Yogi 1-2, could you please send the baggage?